Hello, welcome to the live Q&A. Today, I'm trying to get it pulled up on my computer so that I can see all of your wonderful questions. How is everybody doing? If you're here, let me know down in the comments. Where are you watching from? What are you up to? Okay, not centered at all, so let's fix that. Okay, hello. Okay. Hi, friends. So many friends. Hello. Hi. Montreal, Iowa, Columbus, Georgia. Sounds like we got a lot of kind of shift into the East Coast. I know it's a little bit early on the West Coast and you might still be working. So I appreciate you joining me. If you are here live, if you are watching the replay, also welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you get some value out of all of the amazing questions that I'm going to answer today. Just assuming that you're going to answer great questions. But hello. Hello, friends. Oh, hello from NYC, fellow New Yorker. Hope you're hanging in there. I was just thinking recently that, you know, things opening up in different states, and I don't really want to talk about that like at length today, but I just want to comment something that I've been thinking about, which is even when things start to open, the problem here in New York is we don't have cars. So we can't drive anywhere, and I am not about to get on the subway anytime soon. That just doesn't feel safe. So just something that I've been thinking about. Hello, friends. All right. Feel free to start throwing questions at me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Um, Let me go. Hello. Hi, Colton. That's my brother, y'all. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Jessica. I actually put on a little bit of makeup today. I originally wasn't going to, and if you watch the weekly vlogs, I film and post without makeup all the time. But I like went into the bedroom to like do my hair, do something with it, and I was like, well, let me put on a little bit of something because with the lights it washes me out and whatever. So thank you, I appreciate your comments. Okay, let me start getting the questions. The subways were disgusting before COVID, Donna. I agree with you, and all the things that we should be doing, like not touching stuff or washing our hands immediately, should be all the time with the subways. But it's just being that close contact to people that I'm not looking forward to. How do I get my stickers so straight, Meg? That's a great question. Right now, it's the lines. In the Moxie Life, I'm using a Moxie Life vertical, which has lines all the way down, so it's really easy to get them all straight. When there are no lines, I try to line it up across with something if I can make that happen, like the coil or another decoration or something like that. Amy, what has been my favorite part of wedding planning so far? That's a great question too. I think it's all the kind of forced time. Well, this is going to sound ironic given the situation that we're in right now, but this would have been my answer kind of before all this happened, was kind of the forced time that it is allowed for Sam and I to be together and like working on a project and doing something together and having conversations and spending more time together. Like the days that we went and looked at venues, and we spent 2 full days looking at venues, and it was just, I don't know, it was great to spend all that time together. Now we've spent a lot more time together in this during this situation. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for all of your compliments. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm trying to get to the next question. EC Petite Coiled Planner or EC Daily Duo? Mackenzie, my answer to that is neither, and that is coming soon. I will tell you. Emily, where and what do you do for work? So I work at New York Life Insurance. It's an insurance company, if you have never heard of it before, here in New York, and I do product development on the life insurance side specifically. So New York Life has a lot of different facets and does a lot of different products, but I focus on product development on the life insurance side. I've been with the company since I moved to New York 7.5 years ago now. Whoa, that's a little bit crazy. How am I really doing? Like, really? I appreciate this question. It depends on the hour, truthfully. Like, it used to just depend on the day, and there were days that I was super motivated and excited and working on my to-do list and like being really productive, and then there were days that I did absolutely nothing and like ate chocolate all day and drank a bottle of wine. And now it's almost like by the hour. There are some times that I get so frustrated and I get so angry at the situation, and especially when I see people like doing things that I just don't necessarily think are the best decision right now. And here I am, like staying inside my shoebox of an apartment and like trying to do my part, and it just gets very, very frustrating. And I have those moments. But for the most part, I would say like 75% of the time I'm good. I'm excited to have extra time to work on things and do some exciting things and be with Sam, and those moments are great. And then like 25% of the time I'm like, get me out of here. How much are you going outside and enjoying it? I feel so rushed and anxious every trip that I leave my house. I feel the exact same way, which is why the only time I go outside is to go for a walk / run. That's the only time I leave. I did go to the drugstore once. I talked about this in a vlog because I needed to pick up a prescription for Sam. Otherwise, everything else we get delivered to our apartment. I don't go outside to actually like buy anything. I just go to walk / run, and no, I'm not really enjoying it all that much because I'm just paranoid and there's so many people everywhere. That I find the earlier I go, the better, like in the morning. But no, I really don't try not to leave because it just doesn't feel safe. I lost my spot and now I'm back at the bottom. Okay, do I think I'll stay with the Moxie Life Planner next year, Lynn? Still to be determined on that. I don't know. I don't know yet. I have a lot of different thoughts on why I might stay or why I might go. I think it depends maybe on what they do with their new version of the planner, and then where my planning style is at the end of the year, on where I kind of go with my weekly planning. But I appreciate that question. Thank you, Tara. Yeah, you can't really see it. It's my Cultivate What Matters sweatshirt that I got at the event. All right. I love the monthly focus template. Thank you. I'm glad that everybody's enjoying that on Instagram. I think it's just a fun way to pick a habit and stay focused on it for the month. And I'm trying to balance between posting it every single day, and because I don't know that you want to see it every single day, and then keeping you up to date. So far I've been posting it when I feel like I have something interesting to share about it, and not just like I did it for another day. Sam, headphones maybe, please? Can you put headphones in, please? Sorry, y'all. Tips for making weekends productive while still having downtime. That's a great question, Loretta, and I think that my answer would be slightly different during the situation and during normal life. Because during normal life, my working hours are expanded essentially, because it also includes commuting and getting ready for work every single day. The weekend times are just so valuable that I really do try to be productive more than not on the weekends. And then my rest time is almost always filled with like something social related. So I don't have I don't take as much rest time on the weekends during normal times, because it's just, again, so precious, and having that time to myself is really valuable. Instead, it's more of like a one day of a weekend each month. I'll try to have more rest time rather than each weekend. And whether that's right for you or not, everybody's going to be different. During this time, I take a lot more time to rest on the weekends. The way that I would recommend doing this is buffering your day. So give yourself a certain amount of time in the morning to sleep in and relax and leisurely enjoy your weekend, and then give yourself a time that you want to be done with any of your productive stuff, and that's the number of hours that you do productive things on the weekends, and that's going to be different for every single person. And then make your to-do list based on that amount of time that you have. And so if that's 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, okay, what can you get done in that time, and try not to overstuff. That way you protect that rest time. That's what I'm doing now. Grace, I see your question. I'm not going to talk too much about the COVID and reopening, because I think that there's way more value in the replay if I talk about productivity and goal setting and planners. Lisa, what is my favorite Erin Condren product? It doesn't have to be a planner. I think I answered this on the Instagram live I did on launch day, or was that preview day? I think it was preview day. Probably the Erin Condren umbrella, the Mid-Century Circles umbrella. Erin, has my place stayed the same since my massive cleaning spree? For the most part, yeah. I mean, every day there's something that we need to tidy, but for the most part, yeah, it stayed pretty clean. I just brought home 10-week-old kittens. Any 10 week old kittens? How many? Or 10 of them? I am slightly confused. I don't have any crazy suggestions. It's been a long time. I mean, Charlie will be 6 this summer, but she was 4 months when I got her, so she wasn't like, she was a kitten, but she wasn't like a kitten. She wasn't a 10-week old kitten. So it's been a long time since I took care of like a little tiny kitten. My mom's cats are like 14, so it was a long time ago. Is the meetup still on, or will we be meeting your beautiful face later in the year? Amber, that's a great question. Right now, I don't have a good answer because June, who knows, like what things are going to look like and what the restrictions are going to be based on the number of people. I feel like the New York reopening plan is so vague that I don't have a good answer for that. My gut tells me we're going to be pushing it back a little bit later, unfortunately. Rebecca, I know you've been reading a lot this year. What has been your favorite book so far? I talked about this in the quarterly favorites video. The Daily Stoic is probably my favorite book so far, which is not really like a book that you sit and read. It's a book that you read one page a day. I'm really loving the one that I'm almost done with now, which is The Fear Boss. Fear is My Homeboy is the name of the book. I'm almost done. I have like one half of the last chapter left. And it's really good. That one probably, truthfully. It's really, what I like about it is it's really actionable. She gives you really specific actionable steps at the end of each chapter, and it feels like I can really apply it to my life instead of just like reading this personal development book and having to find the action steps myself. I don't know if it's Tara or Tara. I will answer what I'm going to use for daily planning soon. I promise you, so soon I'm going to answer. I'm getting to the questions. I'm almost caught up. What advice would you give to a newbie who is afraid to start doing videos or plan with me's? Lydia, if you ask anybody who does plan with me's consistently on YouTube to go back and look at their first one, it is embarrassing for all kinds of reasons. I actually did a video where I reacted to my first plan with me, and there were so many things that I wish I had could have done differently. So my advice, and this applies to all YouTube, not even just planning videos, but just start, because you're not going to learn what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you need to improve upon until you actually start doing it. And the first ones are always going to be not great. That's just, I feel like that's just a fact. And the sooner that you get started, the sooner that you can improve, and then you just won't even think about those first videos. Holly, did I read MWF Seeking BFF? Was that on my book list? I haven't. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Am I using my deck more to be outside? No. So the problem with the deck, I feel like I've explained this. I don't remember where. The way that the sun hits our, and it's not really a deck, by the way, it's a slab of concrete right outside our apartment. It's not that big, it's a slab of concrete. But the way that the buildings are, obviously this is New York, so there's tall buildings, and the way that the sun hits the space, it gets shaded at like 11 a.m. It only gets sun from maybe like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And that is not a great time that we're going to be outside. And B, so it has to be warmer for us to want to be out there in the shade. Like it's got to get a lot warmer than it is right now, or we have to dress a lot warmer. And it just doesn't feel like it's worth putting on that many clothes to just go outside. So no, we haven't, and that's why. Julie, what is one new habit that I've added to my day since quarantine? That's a good question. I love habits, and I feel like I should have a really good answer to this. No, that was before quarantine. I was gonna say working out in the morning, but that was pre-quarantine. No, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna come back to that question. I'm sorry. When do I think I'll be working in my office again? Michelle, I don't know. I have no idea, because again, the problem in my mind in New York is the subways. It's not the actual being in the office. Actually being in the office, we could stay 6 feet away from each other. We could make sure we wash our hands after we touch surfaces. We could not have more than 3 people in a conference room or whatever. We can do all the right things that we need to do. But getting there, I don't know how I would get there and feel safe about it. That's the problem, I think, not the actual office themselves. Um, I'm having trouble with one of the goals I was able to achieve about this time, but I know that it's just because the time we were in, but I can't get rid of the guilty feeling. I, regarding goals and this time, you just have to push it off. It doesn't mean that it's not important to you. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for you at some point. But this, I think, applies to all times. Now, this time is especially weird, but there are times that goals just don't work in the season of life that you're in for whatever reason that is. And it's okay that you push it to another time. Whether it's, I have this goal to lose 10 pounds, but I'm currently pregnant. Those two things don't mix. So right now, your goal just might not mix with the time that we're in. And my biggest piece of advice would be to just make sure you write it down, continue to not forget that it's there and it's important to you, but accept that it's going to be a goal for a later date. And whether that's later this year or next year or 5 years from now, it's okay that it's not happening now. And then the other piece of advice I would give you with this is pick a new goal that you're excited to focus on. So just because that goal isn't happening, all right, let's pivot. Let's pick a new goal that you're really excited to work on and make that your priority and focus and give you something to work towards. I hope that helps. Katie, am I going to get anything in the Cultivate What Matters summer release? So I actually already ordered some things from the Cultivate What Matters summer release. Sometimes they will let their affiliates order in advance. So I did. I ordered 2 things. I ordered the t-shirt because it's so cute and I'm wearing t-shirts every single day. So I ordered it. And I ordered the girls' goal planner, which I'll let you guys know here. I ordered so that I could review and give you my thoughts, and then I'm going to give it away because I don't have a little girl right now. I do have little cousins that fit into that age range, but I just gave them the Erin Condren Kids Planner for their birthdays, which were this spring. And so I feel like I'm not going to throw another planner book related thing at them. I'll probably make that their Christmas gift. Colton, if you're still watching, do not tell them that, please. Jessica, thank you so much for the super chat. That's very sweet. It didn't pop up at the top because I'm trying to keep up to make sure I don't miss any questions, but I really, really appreciate that. Did I see any of the back to school sneak peeks in the Erin Condren newsletter? It's funny that you mentioned that. My Erin Condren launch day order just arrived today. So I did get to finally see, I saw them on somebody's Instagram, but I finally got to open the newsletter and look at it myself. I don't know if there's anything that I'm super, super excited about for me personally. I think the new acrylic desk stuff is really cool. I don't really have space for that on my desk, especially with my new monitor. I think the scissors are really cool because they're beautiful, but do I really need a pair of scissors? I think the petite planner holder thing is really cool. Again, I don't have space for it, but I really think that's cool. So for me personally, there's nothing that I'm dying to order, but I'm excited to see it, and I think that some of them are really cool options. Lynn, have you considered doing a virtual meetup? I actually have. I haven't totally fleshed out what that would look like and how many people we would need to maybe limit it to in order to make it valuable. But I have thought about it. So if that's something that you guys would also be interested in, let me know because I would consider, I have thought about a virtual meetup. I finally figured out how to stack goals. I am so proud of you. That's exciting. Stacking goals makes a huge, huge difference. Tips for using an hourly during COVID. Sarah, I think that the biggest tip in general for using the hourly is to just potentially be flexible because it's likely not going to stick to those exact hours. And so, especially if you're going to plan a week in advance, I think it's even harder sometimes to know where the hours are going to fall. I think COVID actually may make that a little bit easier because things are way less likely to pop up when nobody's doing anything. Things aren't just going to randomly pop up. So that is actually helpful. But I think just being flexible that the hours might not always match up perfectly with what you actually end up doing. Okay. Oh my gosh, I lost my spot again. Do I use Goodreads to track books? Yes, Meg, I do. I realize that people might have trouble finding me because it's not Plan with Laken. It's my actual name, which is Laken Edwards on Goodreads. I might try and see if I can fix that so it's easier to find me. Although I'm sure if you just, I don't know how many Lakens there are in general, but I am. Do I plan to use the EC Duo in July? I do for work. I've been using the daily for work. I've been doing the January because the dates match up to May. So I've been using it for work every day. And so I will use it and the new one in July for work too. two of them. They are both 10 weeks and super tiny. Oh my gosh, I bet they are so cute. Rachel, is the Go Wild conference still selling tickets? So right now, Go Wild is sold out. They don't have any tickets available. They are still finalizing the new dates with the hotel. So once those new dates are announced, they will give an option to they will give the option to everybody who currently has a ticket to attend the new dates. If someone cannot attend the new dates, they will receive a refund, and then they will go to the wait list to start filling those spots for the new dates. So if you are interested, I would recommend going to the wait list. Now, somebody did tell me that in order to be on the wait list, you have to put down a credit card, and that is a little bit scary. And someone was like, well, what if the new dates don't work for me? They will not charge your credit card without asking you first. So the way that it'll work is somebody gets a refund because the new dates don't work with them. They'll go to the wait list. They'll go to the first person. They'll say, are you still interested? If the person says yes, they'll charge them. If they say no, they'll go to the next person. So that would be my advice for Go Wild. Brenda, do you ever worry about people watching or what they're thinking when you are vlogging? I'm assuming you mean like out in public. Yeah, 1,000%. I'm like, it's gotten way better. First off, it's gotten way better over time. I've gotten way more comfortable just starting. I also know that once I start, then I zone out and I am ignoring everybody else behind me, which is why sometimes during editing I'll find like somebody doing something funny in the background that I didn't notice because I'm in the zone once I start. It takes me a second to like get over it in public and just start. But A, it's gotten better with time, and B, I also remember that like this is a thing that other people do. I'm not the only person that's out there with my camera vlogging. Like other people do this too, and so it's not like people know what you're doing, and then it's not as weird. Do I have any budgeting tips when it comes to spending on planner supplies? Zara, I do. First off, if you want expert budgeting tips, I would go follow my friend Jen Plans on Instagram and join her Facebook group. Jen Plans Budgets, something, I'm not sure what the whole name is, but Jen Plans Budget, and you'll find it. My biggest tip would just be to add it in your budget, but space it out, knowing when kind of the spikes come. So like, if you know that the planner company you purchase from launches their planners in May, like Erin Condren, or April, like Emily Lay, then maybe in that month's budget you add a little bit more because you know. Or that they do a launch in like October for the calendar year stuff, all the petite planner launch. So maybe I'll add a little bit more that month. And that might take some time to get used to as you learn through the planner world when things typically launch. I personally, that would be my advice if you are like concerned about how much you're spending. I just do a monthly amount, truthfully, and I have a bucket, and then I take from that bucket, and some months I take more, like launch month, and some months I take less. But I think either way, just making sure you build it into your budget and think about maybe when those larger purchases are going to happen. How is the dance goal going, Heather? I don't know what I'm trying. I was not specific enough. Okay, first off, the first answer, I was not specific enough because I like had a mini dance party with myself today in the shower because a really great song came on when I just put my playlist on shuffle, and I was like, does that count in my dance party? So I think it's going well. Sam and I also had like a little mini dance party the other day while we were cooking dinner because a good song came on and we didn't need to do something in that exact moment. So I feel like I'll just give it in general, like I did some dancing this week, whether it was in the shower or whatever. And then if it's Sunday and I haven't done it, then I will, make more of an effort. But I think it's going well. How did Charlie get her name? That is a great question that I don't think anybody has ever asked. So Charlie's full name is Charlotte Ray. And she got her name because she is a loud purrer. She purrs so loudly. And when I first got her, I had a friend over and she was purring super loudly, and she actually still had the name from the shelter at that point, which I don't even, it's like something really stupid. And she was purring really loudly, and somebody said something, or my friend said something about like Ray Charles. I don't remember that connection and why he said Ray Charles, but then like it turned into, okay, her name can be, we'll flip it around. So I thought about Ray for a second, and then we flipped it around and did Charlotte Ray, and then I call her Charlie. That was a long story. Yes, Julie, that is, I think the biggest difference is we could be 6 feet away at work, but you other non-New Yorkers can drive there, and I can't drive there. Oh, I'm jealous of you laying in the sun like a kitty. Okay. Hi, Kayla. You should be pouring your mom a drink for her birthday. What advice do I have for a first time maid of honor? Jennifer, that's a great question that I don't feel qualified to answer because I have never been a maid of honor. And I will never be a maid of honor, actually. I hope that someday I might be a matron of honor for my sister, but given that I'm going to be married in less than a year, I will never be a maid of honor. I My advice would be to there's a YouTube channel that I love that I've been watching for wedding tips, and she's got a video on this topic. Um, I'm blanking on her name. Send me a message on Instagram, and I will get you the YouTube channel. How did intentional tracked goal setting become a part of your life? I love this question. So, really, truly, last year, like 2019 was the first year that a full year that I did intentional tracking and like going through my goals. And I hesitate to say that for some reason because it feels like, well, it's only been, you know, it's 18 months since you started intentionally tracking your goals. Like, should you really be talking about goals? But I've had goals my whole life, and I've tried to achieve them, but it really took writing them down and breaking them into small steps. Those are the two biggest things that made a huge difference in it. And really, it was 2019 was the first time that it made a difference. How has my work organization planning habits changed now that I'm working from home? Casey, I'm working a lot more now that I'm working from home. That sounds so funny, but at work, like, you know, you chat with your coworkers and you go get a cup of coffee and you like, I don't know, when I go to the bathroom, I stop and talk in somebody else's desk, and now I'm like sitting at my desk all like I feel like I'm working a lot more. I also feel like I need to be way more explicit with my to-do lists than I was out working at the office. For whatever reason, I just feel like I need more of a daily plan than I did when I was working in the office. I don't know. Is there a date for the summer box yet? I don't know of one. Typically the summer box launches in mid-May, which is like now. So, but I haven't heard anything about it. Thank you for all of, yes, the virtual meetup. Yes, the virtual meetup with wine. Yes, okay. I'm glad that everybody is in. Does my boss know that I'm a YouTube star? He knows I have a YouTube channel. If you get any other outside income that's not from the company, you have to disclose it. So he does know that I have a YouTube channel. I don't think he watches it or knows what it's about, but yeah. What's something fun that you and Sam have been doing during quarantine? That's a cute question, Nina. We did a puzzle the other day that wasn't necessarily like something we have been doing consistently. We've been watching a lot of TV, and we just recently started watching Lost. I talked about that. Sam has never seen it. I don't know if there's really anything else like different that we've been doing during quarantine. Truthfully, we should like play games and do things like that, but we have not been. Wait at least one day before checking out. You don't realize that you'll realize you don't actually want a lot of the purchases you're about to make. Hannah, that is great advice. I'm assuming that was to the person asking about budgeting. Yes, wait a day. That's great advice. Can you talk about some online courses that have helped you grow personally and professionally? Kim, a lot of the online courses that I've been taking recently are all very specific to like growing my community and my brand and etc. So I mean I can recommend them, but unless that is what you're trying to do, I don't know that they will help you as much. The content planner course, man, that was incredible. Like that was mind-blowing and life-changing, and she is planning to release it as like a do it at your own pace course coming soon. I will definitely share about that when she launches it. But otherwise it's just been really specific to me. What I could recommend from like a general, not as business specific, is just listening to podcasts has made a huge difference on my personal growth. Reading books too, and I watch some YouTube channels, but really podcasts have made a huge difference. In my last quarterly favorites, I went through all of the podcasts that I listen to that I keep up with on a weekly basis. So go watch that video to I'll hear all the podcasts that I do listen to. Have I watched Normal People? I have not, Loretta. Is that on Netflix, Hulu? What platform is that on? Yes, Jamie Wolfer. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, Jamie Wolfer is the wedding person that I am obsessed with and that I love. Definitely recommend her. Highly recommend. Okay. Julie, I'm reading your comment. I love that you talk about your journey with goals. You've taken us through all the things that have worked for and what hasn't worked. Absolutely. And that's the reason that I share, is to just, to show you that like the journey of setting and achieving goals is not always pretty, and it's not a straight line for sure. Hopefully you get some ideas, but really everybody's goals are so like unique to them that I don't necessarily share with you thinking that with the thought that you're going to take those exact things, because they likely don't work for you, but just to see the process and kind of and the journey, like you said. Am I doing any mindfulness activities? It's been hard not to have anxiety at this time. That's a good question, Amber. I've been trying to make sure that I take more bubble baths. I've been trying to spend less time on my phone. I don't really look at the news, truthfully. In terms of news, the places that I get my news from are The Skim. I listen to their daily podcast. Pantsuit Politics, I listen to their bi-weekly podcast. And then like friends and family, if they see relevant news, they'll share it with me, but I don't go out searching for the news myself. That's probably the biggest mindfulness thing that I have done since this all started. Yeah. Do I chat with my coworkers while working from home? Donna, I should more. I do sometimes, but it's always about work stuff. I don't necessarily just like chat with them to say, hey, how are you doing? Or like the chat that we would, or like asking about their lives, like the chat that we would have had we been there in person. We also just don't do video calls at my company. It's like it's not a thing that we do. And I feel like I wish we did. Like I would have to get ready, but I would at the same time, I wish I could see people's faces more often. Like I miss them. It's weird. Oh my gosh, all these so sweet comments. You guys, you are all so sweet. Thank you all so much for your kind comments. Oh yes, Grid and Plan, the Jordan Page courses. Go sign up for those right now. Like not right now. Don't leave the live, but go sign up for them. The Budget Bootcamp and the Productivity Bootcamp are both free for the month of May, and I don't know that you'll be able to squeeze both of them in. You might just have to pick one, or heck, like push all your May goals to June and do those while they're free. Those are great. What is one thing that has surprised you the most or was unexpected to you as your YouTube social media has grown? That's a good question, Sam. I think one of the things that has surprised me is what I have wanted to focus on. Like I think when I first started sharing on social media, so when I first started sharing on social media, it was really just because everyone else had an Instagram, and I was like, oh, me too. I'm going to post my planner on Instagram too, just like all these people that I saw on Pinterest. And that's why I started that. And then when I started to actually focus on growing it, it was more about like, this is going to sound I don't mean this to sound bad. It was more about like getting to go to like, I don't know, to get to meet cool people and to have that like leg up to be able to meet people, like be able to potentially meet Erin, Condren, like those kinds of things that I was like, well, if I have more people following me, then I'm going to get those cool things, which I get sounds very, very awful. And so, judge me all you want for that thought. And then I think what surprised me was what that morphed into, and what I have now decided and really honed in on as my main focus and my main mission is something completely different than what I thought it was when I initially started. And having that as my driving force means so much more to me than cool stuff or meeting cool people. Like that is not important in the grand scheme of things, but helping you figure out how to accomplish all the goals that you have in your life is so much more valuable to me and so much more important. And I think the path that I took to find that surprised me so much. I lost my spot again. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Yes, Julie, sign up for both of them. Hannah, do you have wedding colors? So I don't know how to answer this question because we don't have like, these are our wedding colors. For most of the wedding stuff, we're going neutral. It's going to be white and cream and greenery and browns and very, very neutral. That's just kind of like our aesthetic. But then we're going to have red bridesmaids dresses because I've always wanted red bridesmaids dresses, and I think that everybody looks good in red, and I think that it'll just look really pretty on the outside venue. The ceremony part of the venue is outside. Donna, I will link the courses when I'm done. I will link them in the description of this video when this is all over. I promise. You started productivity boot camp today. Carla, I am great. Oh, when you sign up, you get access to both. Okay, so you don't have to pick. So just sign up to both and you'll get both of them. Do any of my coworkers watch my YouTube channel? I don't think so. I know some of them follow me on Instagram, but I don't think that any of them actually watch my channel, truthfully. If I had to pick one detail that I planned for the wedding so far that I'm the most excited about. Sarah, so yes, I know exactly what it is, and I'm trying to think how to describe it. So it is related to the venue that we chose. So the venue that we chose is out in, like on the outside of Austin, and it's kind of, it's gorgeous. It's this outdoor space for the ceremony, and then like a barn that's attached for the reception. But the detail that I didn't know I wanted until I got it is that there is on-site accommodations, like on the same grounds, that will fit our immediate family and our bridal party. And the fact that we all get to, that I get to have some more like intimate time with those people is super, super special and something I'm so looking forward to, because like we're gonna have a big wedding, and the weddings, they go by in a flash and there's so much going on. And if we were having a small wedding, like our immediate family and our bridal party, like those would be the people that we would want there. And so the fact that we get to be on site with just them for a couple of days is just super exciting. And that's like the one detail that I didn't know I needed. And then once it happened, we just, like the final two we decided to both have this feature. So I'm so excited about that. Patty, how do you get to be on the EC squad? Do you have to have a YouTube channel? I don't think you have to have a YouTube channel. Somebody recently messaged me about this. I don't know all of their details. Truthfully, like I don't know how many followers you need to have. Like I don't know all the details. All I know is that you just need to apply, and they have some reasons that they pick people and not others. So if you go to their website, I think you can scroll down and click affiliate, and then you can apply and then see what happens. I remember talking about your wedding colors at a bar in New York. I miss bars too, Julie. I miss them too. Any chance that you and Sam from Happily a Housewife doing something together? I love you both. Oh, Lynn, that is so sweet. I don't know. Sam, do you want to? We don't have any plans right now to do something together, but we totally could. We've talked about meeting in person when when they ever come back up to New York, because we are pretty close to each other. I also want to get down to that Erin Condren store. So, yeah. No, not you, Sam. It's a different Sam.
You said my name like 5 times.
Yeah, but it's not you. I'm not Sam. Go away. Have I thought about my wedding take-home items? Amber, you mean like the like a favor, like a wedding favor? We're gonna do a food wedding favor. So I'm pretty sure that everybody will want it. We know everybody will want it. Do I have a specific note-taking method? Kim, I don't know if you mean like, are you talking about like for productivity bootcamp, budget bootcamp? So for productivity bootcamp, I printed out the productivity planner and put it in a binder, and then printed out all those extra notes pages and took notes that way. And I have it still in a binder. For budget bootcamp, I'm doing something a little bit different, because although we do have a printer, I'm not about to print out all these things for budget bootcamp. So I'm actually doing it in a Google Doc. And what I'm doing is taking notes for each of the videos. And then when there's like a worksheet, I am screenshotting it and copying and pasting it into the Google Doc. So at the end, I'll have this running Google Doc that's got my notes from all the videos, and then screenshots of all the worksheets that she has, which I'm pretty excited about. So that's how I'm doing it for that. How do I keep myself, I just had it. Okay, Jessica, how do you keep yourself accountable? I find that I lose motivation and accountability. Nobody in my life is into goal setting, so I can't find an accountability partner. Accountability is definitely, I think, a key pillar to goal setting, and I am working on some ways that I can help all of you be more accountable to your goals. For me, the number one accountability partner I have is you, and the fact that I'm sharing everything on the internet is how I stay accountable to my goals. Now, that might not work for you. You might not want to share your entire life on the internet, so you might not have that accountability. I think you have to find what works for you in terms of accountability. Is giving yourself a reward, whether that is a day off or whether that's like something that you buy. Would that hold you accountable? Is it financial? Is there a way that you can make yourself financially accountable to it? But I am being completely honest when I tell you this is something that I'm working on, because I know that that's a huge struggle and something that is currently really hard to teach. So I'm trying to figure that out. I'm really trying to figure that out. What should someone who's new to Erin and Condren expect if they're buying the EC surprise box for the first time? That's a great question, Grace. I think my biggest piece of advice would just be to go watch past unboxing videos. There's tons on YouTube where people showed, like, here's what I got, and if you can kind of get a sense for what kind of items come in the Erin Condren surprise boxes. That way you kind of know what to expect. There's usually a general theme, like a color scheme or a pattern that goes with it, and then there's usually it's mostly planner stuff. There's usually 1 or 2 lifestyle things. Most of it's usually exclusive, and then there's usually 1 or 2 sneak peeks. But it was interesting. They did a twist on the sneak peek thing this time. So the pen, the double-sided pen thing, I forget what that's called, was a sneak peek in the seasonal surprise box for spring, but then the one they released had more to it. It was different. It wasn't the exact same product. So that was interesting, I thought. Hannah, have I shared how I met my fiance? I don't know the story. I have, I think, in past Q&As, but I'm happy to share with you quickly. So we are both originally from Texas, and we both went to the University of Texas, but we did not meet there. We did overlap. He's 1 year younger than me, so we were there at the same time, but we didn't meet. And then we both moved to New York separately for work, and we were both at an alumni event for the University of Texas. It was actually a chili cook-off, which is one of the things I am super bummed that we're not going to this month, because we have gone every year. So we met May 4 years ago, and we've gone to the subsequent ones every year together, and obviously it's not happening this month, which is a huge bummer. But so we were at the chili cook-off, and we had 2 mutual friends who were friends with each other. So like my friend knew his friend, and they are like merged our 2 groups that were hanging out at the event, and that's how we met. Yes, yes, they're all commenting that you wanted to be a part of it. Yes. Do you and Sam have any plans to get more fur babies in the future, or will Charlie be an only child? Not until we leave New York. So I would love for Charlie to have a friend. A cat friend would require more space for a litter box. I'm not about to have a litter box with 2 cats that's in my personal bathroom. The litter box needs its own bathroom before it can have 2 cats that use it. For a dog, for a baby, we need a yard where going out requires me to open the door and then they go out onto the grass, not leash and shoes and walking and all the things. So until we live in a place where either of those things can happen, then no more fur babies for now. We did a food wedding favor too. Good, Katie. I'm really excited about it. We have a plan. I don't want to spoil it. What did I learn from Productivity Bootcamp that you still use? Amberly, that's a really, really great question. So I would say there's two things that I can think of off the top of my head that I still do. One is, she calls it job, which is just one bite, and that is breaking things down into like little bitty itty pieces and thinking about it that way. I especially like think about that when I think about decluttering. Like, can I start with 1 drawer or 1 cabinet? And that's a lot more accessible. The other thing that I've taken away, which is not like a mind-blowing productivity tip, but she talked about it in a lot more detail, about setting timers. And setting timers and just working for that amount of time and doing that until the timer goes off. And then either you continue the motivation, because for me, I found a lot of the time doing something, the hardest part is starting it, right? Like, I need to do this thing. When I end up doing it, it's not that bad. So if I set a timer and say, okay, you just have to do it for 10 minutes, most of the time, either it takes less time because I'm moving quickly and I just want to be done, or if it's going to take more time, even when the timer goes off, because I've already started doing it, it just doesn't, I can keep going. Since I have more time right now, am I going to start learning Mandarin? Did I mention somewhere that that's like a long-term goal of mine? I don't remember talking about that. No, not right now. That is still a long-term goal of mine, but it's not. There are so many more short-term goals that I'm going to use my extra time for right now that are more important to me. Amber, have I tried like the sticker subscription? I'm assuming you're talking about the Erin Condren one. It's not my favorite thing. I have been sent it for review, but I've never ordered it myself because I don't know. I don't feel like it doesn't change my life. And I used to be the kind of person that if something was exclusive, I needed it. And now I've I'm not that person anymore. And so I have not been getting the sticker subscription from Erin Condren. Kat, are we planning to stay in New York after we get married? So right after we get married, yes. We are still going to be here. But in the not so distant future after that, we are going to move. Who did you say the content planner course for? It's the content planner on Instagram. So it's the woman, Kat, who created the content planner, the product. Her Instagram is the content planner, but she did a course where she taught it. I took it live because she's been doing live ones during this time, and now she's transitioning for it to be like a do-it-yourself. She hasn't released it yet, but when she does, highly recommend. I will link it because it's amazing. Nina, what is your favorite habit that you've created over the last 18 months and why? Not hitting the snooze button anymore. So the root, I feel like, I was just thinking about something earlier today, and this was part of it too. You got to work backwards. So the actual habit is my phone sleeping out here in the living room and not sleeping in the bedroom, because what that turned into is I don't hit the snooze button anymore, because by the time I get up and walk all the way over to my phone, which is not even that far, like I'm awake and I stay up. And then what that has turned into is being able to do more things as part of my morning routine. And that has also turned into working out in the morning. But it all started with my phone, sleeping in the kitchen. That's where it started. What am I most excited to do after quarantine? Oh man, that's a great question. What? Oh yeah, well, I don't know if that's gonna happen. We have a flight to Paris right now for October. When this all first started and we didn't realize, like, we knew we needed to stay in to flatten the curve, but we did not know how long the curve was gonna last, and flight prices were crazy low. We and my mom and stepdad, so the four of us, booked flights to Paris for October to celebrate our engagement anniversary. And I don't know if we're gonna get to go. We're gonna find out if we do end up getting to go to Paris. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I travel in general. I think that's my answer. There's two: travel and sports. God, I'm so ready for sports to be back. I was listening to a podcast today that somebody who has the same sentiment. They can't wait for sports, and apparently Germany is reopening soccer, and she has now chosen a German soccer team to follow because she just wants sports that badly. That's how I feel about it. I just want sports. What's my favorite quarantine outfit? Michelle. Oh, I talked about it in my quarterly favorites video. It's those pants from Erin and that top from Old Navy together. It's my soft outfit, and I have 4 versions of it because I've got I have 8 versions of it because I have 4 of those Old Navy shirts and 2 of those pants. But combined together, I'm just so soft and comfy, and it's the best. It's the best. Will I be filming an updated sticker organization video? Alyssa, I haven't decided yet because the actual system that I'm organizing, it's not changing from the videos that I did in December of sticker organization. I'm just, some of the things I talked about in that video, which include taking all of the extras from samplers and spreading them out, and then taking all of the different boxes and sorting them by color. I'm just finally doing that. But it's not different than those videos, so I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm gonna do another video. We'll see. Sarah, tips for stopping a habit that you would like to quit. That's a really great question. I think my biggest piece of advice would be to find it kind of goes back to the snoozing thing. So right, the habit I wanted to quit was hitting the snooze button. So it's finding a way to make that habit really difficult for you. So, and I'm trying to think of another example of the habit that you'd want to stop doing. you have to find a way to make it really difficult. So you can't keep the thing in a house, or you it's in another room, or whatever it is, and you try to make it hard for you to do that habit. And then I think this also circles back to the reward system. If there is a reward that you can give yourself for not doing it, and still track not doing it, and like check off tracking it, then I think that you can really make a difference. I don't know if that was helpful or not. Do I have a cleaning system? Jill, I do not. That is going to be, spoiler alert, my Q3 goal for the apartment category is solidifying one. So my cleaning system before quarantine was to pay somebody to come clean the apartment. And since quarantine, it has been I do a couple things on Sundays, and then I kind of do everything else as I feel it is necessary, which is probably not as often as it should be. So creating a cleaning system that works for me, for us, is on my Q3 goals. Spoiler alert. What's my favorite sticker shop? Zara, Christian Designs is my favorite sticker shop. I think she just has the most variety of stickers. I love her paper, and I love her as a person. Julie, could you ever see yourself not using stickers at all in my planner? In my personal planner, no. In my work planner, yeah, I don't really use stickers in my work planner. But in my personal planner, no. No, I love stickers. Favorite quarantine snack? Casey, does wine count as a quarantine snack? After 5 p.m., it's wine. Before 5 p.m., no, you know what it is? It's still a drink. It's just making the lattes that I talked about in a number of vlogs at this point, and my favorites video. I make them just to enjoy them, not necessarily because I feel like I need the caffeine. Donna, if you do a virtual meetup, are you not doing an actual meetup? No. The virtual meetup would just be because we're at home, and that is the only option. The actual meetup, even if I have to keep pushing it out, it is happening. I promise. Are you still set on what you're going to be using for your planner stack now that you have the daily duo? Hannah, coming soon. I can't answer that right this second. Okay. I know I'm being so vague, and you all probably hate me, but I have an answer coming soon. Wine is definitely a snack. I'm glad it was helpful, Sarah. If I only had to choose 5 planner essentials, what would they be? 5 planner essentials. Okay. Pens, obviously. Black. Can I just say pens in general, or do I need to be specific about which pen? Black pens. An X-Acto knife to cut, but if I don't have washi, then I don't need an X-Acto knife. That's a really hard question that I was not prepared to answer. Have I tried the whipped lattes? No, I have not tried the whipped lattes yet. Dirtying more dishes doesn't seem necessary to me at this current moment. It's not essential. Will I ever do an apartment tour? So I did a while back, and I took it down for a number of reasons. I might do an updated one. I don't know. To be determined on that. How highly do you recommend the Cultivate What Matters goal book for a goal-oriented person, first-time purchase? Kayla, I can't do you mean the actual, like, the power sheets or the book that she wrote? If you're talking about the power sheets, yes, I can't recommend those more. I'll recommend those all day long. Buy the 6-month ones right now. Totally worth it. The book, I think, that she wrote, if that's what you're talking about, is great. It is very religious focused, so just keep that in mind. How is my water? My water's going well. Well, this is the 4th. I'm a little bit late today than normal. I don't know what happened, but this is my 4th one for today, so it's going. Yesterday was really good. It's getting easier for sure. Although I'm spending a lot of time in the bathroom. Pamela, I drink both white and red. I like different ones. I like them both for different reasons. I like white if I'm starting like right at 5, because red can make me sleepy. I like them both for different reasons. I like both. Favorite candle, Hannah, that is a hard question. I can't think of the name. It's from Bath and Body Works, and it smells like a man, and it's the best. It's the best candle. Katie, truthfully, I haven't changed anything in my water routine to try and make me more successful, except that I'm tracking it and sharing it on the internet. That's what's made it more successful. My favorite color is orange, and my favorite all-time candy is Reese's. My favorite red wine brand, that I actually purchased for myself, or that is my favorite if money was no object. Because if money was no object, it's Camus. It's Cabernet from Camus. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best red wine that I've ever had in my life. But I can't afford that on a regular basis. My favorite red wine on a regular basis that I buy for myself is Avalon. Cabernet from Avalon. Will I finish the water before I switch to wine? I have to finish at least 4 of the 5, because if I'm switching to wine before dinner, I have to finish 4 of the 5, and then I can switch to wine, because I know I can probably finish my 5th water while I'm having dinner. So I have to finish 4, but not all 5. What's my best hack for staying at home, productive at home, like getting ready, making a to-do list? So I think the getting ready thing is different for different people. I'm not the person that needs to get ready to be productive at home. I think it is making a realistic to-do list. It is having a list of things you want to do that you can actually accomplish in the time that you have to accomplish them. That way you feel like, oh, I can actually do this. Because if you have a to-do list that's too big, and now different people are different. Nina actually has a little bit of a different philosophy on this. But in my experience, if I have a to-do list that's way too big, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get any of it done. And I pick up my phone and start playing a video game. Not a video game, but like a game on my phone. So I think it has to be a realistic to-do list, and then I have to have a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, what's happening when this is all, like, when I get through all the things I need to get through. And so that comes in phases, right? So like in the morning, it's get through all my morning stuff and get through my workout, and then I get to like dance to a fun song in my shower. And then it's, okay, now I got to get through all my work stuff. And so I have my work planner, my work to-do list. Once I get through all this, then I get to my evening stuff, which usually is stuff that's fun and I'm excited about. And so it's kind of like thinking about it in chunks rather than thinking about it like an entire day or even week at a time. How do you feel about this month's one little word? I haven't looked at it yet because I haven't done last month's one little word. So I don't have an opinion on that yet. Brooke, yeah, Camus. Do I recommend any wineries in lower state New York? Allie, I don't really know of any wineries in lower state New York. The only wineries that I like know off the top of my head are California. How's my goal reading going? Brianna, truthfully, not that great. My goal reading is, I don't know. I've been reading every day, but not a ton. And also the like reading associated with my goals, that fell apart. Some things don't work. Some things just don't work. Pamela, I know some people don't like plain water. I do. I don't like flavored water. I don't know. And don't like bubbly water. If you like bubbly water, get seltzer. There's a lot of debate on whether that's as good as regular water that I'm not getting into because I have no opinions or thoughts. Sally, you started Joyful. Yeah, that is on my book stack. So the next one I'm going to read, so like I said, I'm almost done with Fear is My Homeboy. And then the next one I'm going to read is Everything is Figure-Outable by Marie Forleo because Diva and the Divine is doing a book club for it. So I am going to read that book to be a part of her book club. Recommendations for creating good reading habits. I don't love reading, but I want to read more. So, Julie, my first tip for good reading habits is read something that you want to read. So if you don't love reading, then don't read. That is like, if it's the content that you want from the books, can you listen to them? Is that better? Like if you do Audible style, or just like absorb content from those authors in other forms. Like if you don't love to read, don't read. That's my biggest tip. If you actually like to read, then my biggest tip for a reading habit is make sure you're doing it at a set time. Like set aside time to read, not just say like I'm going to read more. When are you going to read, and how long are you going to read for? And so that's the best way to make progress on reading. If I come to VA, EC Store and Winery has wine slushies and deep crust pizza. Sam, you're speaking my love language. I do want to come down there. If I had a car, like life would be easier. I don't schedule time blocks more than an hour at a time to keep my focus. Allie, that's great advice. Seltzer is acidic when you have to take care of your teeth. Okay, that's helpful. Loretta, I don't have a P.O. box because, A, they're very expensive here. Like, to get a P.O. box is actually not inexpensive. And so when someone asks if they could send me something, I typically would just give them my office address, because you can look at my office address on the internet. Like, it's very easy to find. I don't feel unsafe giving that to people. Right now, I can't. I'm not accessing my post office. So right now, I don't really have a way to receive packages. If it is super time sensitive, send me a message on Instagram. Otherwise, when I'm back in the office, I'm happy to share that address with you. Am I going to join the Animal Crossing movement? No. I didn't mean that to sound so harsh. I just am not a video game person. I'm just not.
Wait, someone asked you about Animal Crossing?
Yeah, someone wants me to join Animal Crossing. Stay out of this.
Great idea.
Stay out of this.
No, we can get it.
Stay out of it. Be quiet.
No. You'll love it.
Rebecca, I don't mean that for your children. I mean as a grown-up, if you don't like to read, don't read. They have to read. Yeah, join a book club. That's a good reason. Yes. Children, they need to read. I am not going on walks. There's just too many people out there. I go if I'm going out to exercise, but not to leisurely walk anymore. Kat, no, Sam is in the other room. He's supposed to be being quiet, and he's not. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you. Brooke is anti-Animal Crossing too. I'm not anti-Animal Crossing the game, and if you play it, like, you do you. I've seen, like, the planners that people have created around it, and it's incredible. I am just not a video game person. I understand that it is a great way to relax and rest and zone out. But there are, first off, other ways that I would prefer to relax and rest and zone out. I'm a competitive person, so games in general to me are not relaxing and zoning out and resting. And so that's just not how I want to spend my time. I also can have a very addictive personality, and I just don't want to go there. I'm not going there.
You never played Animal Crossing, so you wouldn't know until you try it.
I'm ignoring you. Not you. Him. Yeah, all the YouTubers are playing it. I know. I can love it for other people and not for me. Exactly. What is Animal Crossing? It's a video game. That released it recently. Would I ever go to a big Canada planner meetup? Yeah, Christine, I totally would. I was about to say I've never been to Canada, but that's not true, because we went to Vancouver last fall. I totally would, especially on the East Coast. Those are easy. Like, it's easy to get there from New York. Do I craft besides planning? Hannah, not now, because I just don't have the space to get the tools out, and, like, I have a bunch of stamps, I have paints, I have stuff, and I would love to, but given our current, physical space, I can't do it right now. So no, not now. Yeah, Julie, see, that's why I'm not gonna start. Not gonna start. I cannot believe it is already 6 o'clock, you guys. This totally flew by. Like, you just kept the questions coming, and I just, this was great. This is so fun. Like, I don't know. I love this, and you guys have asked some great questions, and this has been a lot of fun. We talked a lot. Sally, I should do this more often. I think that, I think my struggle with YouTube, I talked about this on my Instagram, is that it lives here forever in YouTube, and so maybe I'll do this more on Instagram. But thanks for hanging out. Lattes with Laken. Elizabeth, that is so fun. Would you watch it noon Eastern time? What if we did a lunchtime one? Patty, what's for supper tonight? So we order in on Fridays. That's our 1 day a week that we order in and support a local restaurant and get to order in. And we alternate picking. So every other week, one of us gets to pick what we want. And I think Sam is choosing the diner around the corner. He said he's been craving a patty melt. It's his week to pick. So we think we're going from the diner. I don't know what I'm going to get yet. I haven't looked at the menu. I might get breakfast food, truthfully, because they make a really good breakfast food. Okay, more lives. Oh, I would love that, going to Virginia. It's 8 a.m. on Saturday morning in Australia. Pearl, I would love to come over. That sounds so much fun. A live plan with me. Christine, I don't know. Cindy is the expert at live plan with me's, and she has that whole situation where you could see her face and her planner, and I don't know how she does that. I don't know. Maybe. That makes me all kinds of nervous, but I'll think about it. I'd watch it noon. Because Lattes with Laken could be fun if we did it if we did it during the day when I'm just like sitting at my desk. I think it would be on Instagram, truthfully, by the way. Yes, go do your other things tonight. I'm wrapping this up also because it's been an hour. And you guys have been so awesome. But thank you. Okay, lunch. It could be lunch with Laken. But I like lattes with Laken. And I would probably cut it to like 30 minutes. Okay. I love all these responses. You guys are so sweet. So fun. Thank you for hanging out with me live. Before you leave, make sure you go hit the thumbs up button, like this video. I appreciate all of your love and support. I hope that you have a really, really great weekend. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching and thanks for hanging out until the end. You guys have been great, and you've made this, having you to talk to has made this situation so much better, I have to say. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy planning.